The year was 1976. Johnny Cash topped the charts. The United States was 200 years old, and Gerald Ford was our president. Also that year, American archery dove off into the compound world. It happened to be the only year they made compounds. This is David Novak. He's my father-in-law. He's also been one of my very best friends since 1988 when I married his daughter Christina. He's taught me a lot of stuff about woodworking, about working hard, and about just being a good man. So what does American archery, AmMag compound bow, and David Novak have in common? Well, in 1976, David bought an AmMag from an American archery bow at a local archery shop there up near Ravenna, Ohio. David had been hunting on the arsenal there around Ravenna, and I guess for years he'd been hunting with a recurve, not having much luck. A lot of the guys in the hunting club, you know, they all got compounds, and so David went out and he bought a compound. And I don't know all of the story, but I guess what it comes down to is he found this AmMag, and I have it right here. He took it and he hunted with it in 1976, and for however many years after that, I don't know how many years he hunted there on the arsenal with it, but I do know that he never got a deer with it. Now David Novak is a great hunter, and he has hunted all over North America, and he's killed caribou and bears and every kind of exotic thing you can think of. A lot of great whitetails, turkeys. He's just a great hunter, and has taught me a lot about hunting. But I don't believe he ever got the archery bug like I did, like a lot of us that are bow hunters have. He didn't get that drive. He's a person that likes success, and he found the success he was looking for in that 30-06 all of those years. And I have it too, by the way, his 30-06. But that's a story for another day. But the story today is about this AmMag. He got it in 1976. That was the only year American archery produced a compound bow. And he hunted with it there at the arsenal. He never got a deer with it. Then they ended up moving to Texas. Fast forward 12, 13 years. I meet Christina. We get married in 1988. And then in 1989, David booked a caribou hunt. He was going up to Fort Chimo, Quebec, up near the Arctic Circle, hunting Labrador caribou. And I was already an avid archer in my teens. I had a Bear compound bow, and in the summer leading up to his hunt, which I believe was in September, late August or September for his caribou, he told me one day, he says, you know, I'd already been married to Christina right at a year. He said, hey, I think I want to take my bow to Canada and go caribou hunting. And even then, as a 19-year-old young man, I knew that his bow was antiquated. It was a little antique, you know. It was like it's 12 years old. Archery technology, unless you're shooting a recurve, compound technology changes very fast. And by 1989, the technology we had in compound bows compared to 1976 was just astronomical. And I remember thinking, man, you're going to take that bow to the Arctic Circle and try to kill a caribou with it. It made me, at first I was like, that's crazy. But if anyone could do that, it would have been David Novak. He could have taken that bow. He could have gone to the Arctic Circle. He's the guy that would have taken that bow to the Arctic Circle and killed a caribou with it. And he took it. And when that summer we practiced out at my parents' house, we had hay bales, and we'd shoot 20, 30, 40 yards. And this is the way it was when he hunted with it, right here. And he hunted with fingers. And he was sighted in out to 40 yards. Look at those pins. Sighted in out to 40 yards. And he was shooting really good. And I was rooting for him. I was hoping that he would go get one. Well, he went on out to Canada, and he took this bow with him. This bow right here has been to the Arctic Circle caribou hunting. I love that. And he took his rifle, and he went up there, and on one of the days, day 1, 2, or 3, he got a shot. He actually got a shot at a caribou, a nice bull, with this bow, and he shot the bull. We had no rangefinders back then. He had to just guess the yardage, and I think he said it was somewhere in the 40-yard range, 40 to 45 yards. Drew back, shot. The arrow impacted, hit the caribou. The caribou turned and ran, went out onto a knob out on the tundra, and stood there. And the arrow sticking out of the caribou, he hit it like at the back of the ribs, front of the gut area. He said that caribou reached back, smelled the arrow, grabbed it with his teeth, pulled it out of its side, and went on down the tundra with the herd of caribou out of his life, over the horizon forever. The outfitter, the guide, told him, we'll never find him. Let's move on. I have an arrow right here in the bent up broadhead, but here's the arrow. It's still got caribou blood on it from 1989. That is amazing. But he shot the caribou. They were videoing each other with a home video camera. Him and his friend that was there with him. They had a big VHS camcorder, and he videoed. His friend videoed him. Jim Cook videoed David saying, tell the story about the bow, about the arrow and the caribou. And he says, tomorrow, by God, I'm taking my 30-06. And he did. And he ended up with 2 great caribou on that hunt. 2, I think one was almost Boone and Crockett, both double shovel, great caribou. But I believe that was, to my knowledge, that was the last bow hunting trip David Novak ever went on in 1989. The bow is like the day he bought it in 1976. There's not a scratch on this bow. And here recently, tomorrow's his birthday. Dad will be 73 tomorrow. And here back in the summer, I was over visiting him at his house, and he said, hey, go in my closet and get my bow. And I went and got his bow case, which I had not seen it in a lot of years. I wanted to look at it. And he said, I know this thing doesn't mean much. It's not anything fancy or new. He says, but no one else in the family would care about it. If you would like it, I'd like you to take it. It's yours. You can have it. I didn't say much, and I couldn't say much. I just said, because archery history, bow hunting is a huge part of our family. It's been a huge part of my family since I was a small boy. So it meant everything to me that he gave me this bow. Even though he thinks it was just an old relic, probably didn't mean nothing, it meant very, very much. It meant something to me. And so I took it, I brought it home, and I waxed the string and got to looking at it. And the other night I got it out and started shooting it, and I can shoot it incredibly well. As we'll show later, I'll do a demonstration, we'll shoot it. To my knowledge, this bow never brought home an animal. He did shoot the caribou, and I'm sure the caribou did not survive that hit, but he didn't recover it. I can't tell you how much it pains me to know this bow is sitting here in this house without a kill. That may not mean much to a lot of people, but to me, it's like this bow needs a kill, and it will have one. So I'm going to set it up, and I'm going to get some broadheads, some cut-on contact, razor heads set up for it, and I'm going to hunt with it. If it's nothing but a doe or a hog or something, I'm going to get a kill with this bow, and I may end up hunting with it more than just one time. But I'm going to shoot something with this bow and honor it to David Novak. A lot of lessons to be learned with a bow and arrow. Something I'll share a story with you. When David was a small boy, he wanted a rifle, and his father told him, you can't have a rifle until you kill a rabbit with your bow and arrow. He had a homemade or a small fiberglass bow and arrow, very small. He's a very young boy, maybe 9, 10 years old, and he wanted a rifle. He either wanted a BB gun or a .22, I can't remember, but he wanted a rifle. And his father, Jim, told him, once you can go out and you can kill a rabbit with this bow and arrow, I'll get you a gun. Well, David tried and tried and tried, and he just took him forever to get it accomplished, but he finally did. One day he was chasing a rabbit around in the pasture with a bow and arrow behind the house there in Ohio, and it ran under a little shed. And here's one of the great things about David Novak. He's a problem solver. One of the things I learned about him, very young man. I was very young when I married his daughter, 18 years old. David Novak is a problem solver. He can find solutions to impossible problems. That's something I've always admired about him. If something's broke, he can look at it. If he can figure out how it ever worked, he can repair it. He can get it back to new. He finds solutions to things. David went and found a board, laid it over a wood pile, laid across the board on his belly, lifted the woodshed just enough that he could lay down and shoot with his bow and arrow, and he killed a rabbit. As a young boy, he figured that out, 9, 10 years old. Took that rabbit into his father. His father bought him a gun. David Novak taught me to love one woman your whole life. He's been married to Nancy Lee. They got married in 1968. They've been married 53 years. Christina and I are 51. We've been married 33 years. Powerful lesson there. He showed me how to love one woman his whole life, and that means the world to me. He taught me that what you have is enough. Always strive for more, always want more, but what you have is enough. Be happy with what you have. Take care of what you've got. Pay me now, pay me later. I've heard him say that 1,000 times. Change your oil. Oil your blades on your saws. Oil your pneumatic nail guns. All of these little things. Maintenance. Taking care of things. This bow looks like you took it out of the box in 1976. And it's, what, 45 years old. I was 6 years old when this bow was made. Powerful lesson there. Take care of what you have. What you have is enough. David Novak believed he could go to the Arctic Circle with this bow and arrow and kill a caribou. He had the means to buy an archery plant at that time. David Novak retired at 44 years old, 42 or 44 years old. He had the means to get anything he wanted, but he believed what he had was enough. That's one of the greatest lessons I've learned from him is I believe what I have is enough. I always want more. I always strive for more. I always strive to do better, but what I have is enough. David's bow was enough. He took it to the Arctic Circle and he tried to shoot that caribou with it. He loved it. He took care of it, and he still has it. And there's just so many lessons in that. And I just want to pass those on to everybody. I want to pass those on to my children, my grandchildren, the lessons he's taught me. He's an incredible man, and archery is an incredible part of my life. And for him to give me his bow that he had so many years, he's 73, he's never going to shoot it again. Does it mean, I don't know what it means to him. I think it means a lot to him that he gave it to me, but I don't know what personally, of monetary value. The bow is worth nothing. But you couldn't buy this bow from me. What it values, the lessons and the value in it, and the thoughtfulness and the love that he has shown me. He's been my father-in-law forever, but he's also been one of my very best friends. Oh, we fight, and we don't get along all the time. Almost every time I'm over there, we have a disagreement about something. He's headstrong. He believes what he believes, but he taught me to believe what I believe. His daughter, same way. He taught us to be God-fearing Christians that believe and stand up for what we believe in. And so you get a couple of people together like that, we're going to have clashes, but at the end of the day, we love each other. And we always say, it's okay. No matter what, it's okay, I love you, and we move on. So I had a blessed life with this man, and I just want to honor him on his 73rd birthday tomorrow, and just let you know, Dad, how much I love you and what you mean to me. And you'll see this on YouTube for your birthday. And from all of us, we just love you to death and just appreciate all the lessons you've taught us. I appreciate the rifles, and I appreciate the wood things you've made. You're one of the greatest woodworkers you've ever seen. There'll be some pictures of everything you see in this video David made. Turning wood bowls on lathes to building things for the grandchildren. He even built me a bow once, a recurve bow out of mesquite, and it is amazing. I would never shoot it. I'm keeping that forever, but I'm going to shoot this one. But he's an incredible man, an incredible fisherman, businessman. He's a man's man, and he's a good man. And I just wish the whole world would get the chance to meet him and get to know him and learn from him. And you'd know, you would have the value that I have, this family has in him. So, Dad, happy birthday. We love you. Have a great, great day. Let's go out and shoot this bow, everybody. A little bit of work, we'll get her dialed right in. "15 yards. That one arrow flies kind of wonky every time. I'll get some more arrows for it, but not too shabby for 45 years old. That one arrow, like I said, is just kind of crazy wampus there. One little out. You know what? We'll see what we can do with that. Hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoyed making it. Catch you later. See you down at the bottoms.